Hello, everyone. Welcome to BayernNow, the ultimate Bayern fan channel. I'm joined by Dominic, a Manchester City fan. He has an amazing channel on YouTube. How you doing, man?
What's up, my man George? My name is Dominic, rich guys, and if you're new around here and you never heard about me, just subscribe and get on this journey. We're just gonna chat up about Bayern City. I have some questions for you, and I want to start this video out fast out the blocks. You know, like Usain Bolt.
All right.
You took one of our gems, man, Leroy Sané. You know, and I saw your reaction video, and I was like, look at this guy. Look at this guy. He is like, you know, if you're so happy to have him, might as well you have him, because you might as just take it. Take it.
Right.
Take it. You know what I'm saying? Because it seems like you guys want him way more than we wanted him, because we hardly used him. Right. And you guys have already, you know, offered him a nice, sweet contract. You paid decent money for him. You should have paid double the money, but, you know, you got lucky. You got lucky.
We didn't get lucky. I think City just lost out because, first of all, in 2018, it's actually your fault. In 2018, you should have
sold him already, right?
Right. Well, not even that. You should have probably played him more. If he got the game time that he earned, Pep Guardiola would have never lost him. And I think because he didn't get in that 2018 squad, Bayern decided to start the German propaganda, and we tapped them up, as the City fans would say. I didn't think that happened, though. I think
that actually happened, bro. You know, remember, there's a lot of Bayern players. There was a lot of Bayern players in the German team. Maybe not anymore. That would change going forward, and even Thomas Muller might get another look in because of how he did this season. He might just get another chance.
Actually, he won't, because the German manager is very arrogant, so he probably won't.
I know what you're saying, but there's a slim chance that Joachim Löw is going to give him a little. You never know, because how can you ignore the brilliance of Thomas Muller this season?
Right.
You know what I mean? But not to stray too much from Leroy Sané. You guys got the number 10 jersey all ironed and pressed out, you know, starched and ready for Sané, and it seems like he wanted to move, because from the pictures, he looks happy.
Yeah, he doesn't give a crap about Manchester City, to be honest, because he became a Bayern player in 2019. He went and got the surgery for his ACL with the Bayern doctor.
Yeah, I heard you mention that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that, though. I didn't know that.
Right. He a doctor that a lot of Bayern players go to. So him doing that just made me believe, he's signing for Bayern. And the thing is, City couldn't get in there last minute and try and give him 250. I don't know what's wrong with City, because they could have just given him the money, because we know they have a lot of that going around.
No, that's not how it works. That is not how it works. Well, because look here, right? If you and I are on a team, and for example, I'm there before you, I'm performing well, and just to make you happy for you to stay, you know, they give you a better contract. It's like, how are other players supposed to feel? You see what I mean? You don't want to create a hostile work environment. Remember, this is work, you know.
Right.
So if the player was coming in, and that's why a lot of players are under pressure, because they go into new clubs with big bumper deals, and then they're under pressure because the other players are looking at you like, yo, you're making double what I'm making. Pull your weight.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point.
Yeah, and it plays on the mind of some players, and they just can't live up to expectations, and that's why they get moved on. You know what I'm saying? But Sané, very, very exciting player. That was Sané's was not anymore my favorite player at City, and now I'll have to watch him play for Bayern Munich. Fun fact. Because the Bundesliga was the first major league to restart, I did a video choosing a Bundesliga club to support. I just picked them randomly out of a hat, you know, whatever came out, and the last team in the hat would be the winner. Guess the last team in the hat.
FC Paderborn.
Nah, it's Bayern Munich, man.
Oh, my God.
Bayern Munich, yeah.
Well, now you'll be a Bayern supporter because of Leroy Sané.
Well, not a supporter. I just be a follower, just looking. You have to, if you tell me you don't follow what Bayern Munich is doing, what kind of football, you must be just into your club alone. What kind of football fan are you? Because there are football fans and there are people that just love their club and they don't care about no other football and no other team.
That's pretty weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do watch other teams, though. I watch Manchester United just because of Paul Pogba, because he's one of my favorite players in the world.
That's not unheard of, though. There's people that do not know anyone in other leagues because they don't care.
A lot of Prem fans.
A lot of Premier League fans are like that. A lot of Premier League fans. They just have tunnel vision on their team alone. Fans, not only Premier League fans, maybe like a Serie A fan may not care about the, La Liga and vice versa.
Right.
But that's a big sign-in, though. That's a huge sign-in, and it's gonna be tough to replace. And you guys are blessed with such a wonderful player. With that said, 8 in a row. Is it gonna be 9? Is it gonna be 9 now with Sané in your team?
Look, it should be, right? It should be, but. I think people have this misconception that Bayern start the league first. This season, we started in 7th. Well, we didn't start in 7th, but we were 7 points behind. We were 5 points behind at some point. But it depends how we start next season, and there are going to be a lot of games. We could potentially only have 5 attackers for 4 positions. So there's still a lot of transfer business that needs to be done. Say Sané gets injured for 2 months. We could be absolutely back to where we started for 2 months.
But don't you have Gnabry and Coleman?
Serge Gnabry doesn't care about teams he doesn't care about 13 of the 18 Bundesliga teams. He only wants to show up against the big teams in cup finals.
So basically, saying he doesn't really show up most of the times.
Yeah, he doesn't show up against the smaller teams. He only actually cares about Chelsea. Like, the guy has 6 Champions League goals.
Yeah.
6 of them in London alone. So, yeah, it's more of an inconsistency issue.
Right? Chelsea and Tottenham.
Right. 4 against Tottenham, 2 against Chelsea.
Yeah.
He's so good in just the big games, but he doesn't care about the other teams. So he's always inconsistent in that way. He picks up a knock, might hurt his back. He's on this vegan diet now, so he can be less explosive. Sometimes you can see. And also Kingsley Coman. He's really good. I think he's probably one of the more talented wingers in the world. You can see his highlight reels. He can dribble, but he can dribble like past 10 players and whack a cross back to the Eiffel Tower in France. So we still have this issue with our wingers. So that's where we're at right now. So Sané's going to add a lot of quality. He won't just walk in, but he'll walk in. You know what I mean? Like, of course, there'll be competition, but not. He won't get pushed over the edge, and I think that's why he signed.
He has to start though, because why sign and not start? Might as well
he's going to start. He
is going to start unless he starts, doesn't do well, loses his place, someone else starts, does well, and then he's on the bench again.
You're basically saying you'll flop.
No.
You want him to flop? Hey, are you one of those fans?
No. I don't want him to flop, but I'm saying it's a possibility. But flopping has to be, judged over a longer period of time.
Right.
You just can't say he flopped and he isn't even played 1 full 2 seasons. Like,
well, fans are reactionary. We're all reactionary. Yeah. One match and we change our minds about something.
Exactly. So, and that puts a lot of pressure on the player because they're thinking like, I have so many eyes on me now, I have to perform.
Right.
You know what I mean?
One thing I wanted to ask you before we go into more. So I was looking at a Twitter thread on Leroy Sané. Apparently, his crossing accuracy drops from like 60% or 50-something% when City are leading in a game. It drops all the way down to 20% when they're losing, behind in a game, which basically signifies that he may rush decisions when City are losing. Is that something that you've watched him do at City? Just rush things?
No, not really. I think with Leroy Sané, he likes to do his own thing. Pep Guardiola has a thing where he doesn't want the players to hold on to the ball for too long, get it, look for the pass the ball, move, run into space, get it again, shoot, Sané is a guy who likes to take on defenses, run at them. And I don't think he was allowed to express himself fully under Pep Guardiola. You see what I mean?
Right.
But he's a guy that could single-handedly change a game. And he has done that many times in the past. Maybe Pep wasn't happy with what he was doing, and then he did it, and he's like, oh, okay, good, okay, oh. Because he dribbles a lot. He loses the ball a lot. Because when you dribble, the dribble isn't successful, then you turn the ball over. That frustrates Pep. That frustrates any manager. So that could be a problem with Leroy Sané. Maybe the crosses aren't accurate, as you say, but every cross can't be accurate because Mendy whips in a lot of them, and a lot of them are like whipped way over there, overcooked, undercooked, so you can't really be too harsh on the player. You can't really go and, try to look too much into these stats. All we know is that the man is a lovely player. He bounced back well for Germany, and if it wasn't for the injury, he would have had a fantastic season, and we would have probably won the Premier League 3 times in a row. And I don't care what people want to say, Liverpool fans want to say, but these injuries really, really hampered us. And it goes back to where we were talking about that Pep Guardiola sometimes lacks a plan B or C or D. And when Laporte got injured and when Sané got injured, it really affected us. Maybe he pulled out a plan L, and that's why we got 9 L's in the league. But that wasn't no plan B. We had a we had a midfielder playing defend the whole season, rotating with a few other guys. So it's not constant. You're not gonna win nothing. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how I feel right about now. I have a question for you before you go into your question.
Okay.
A big question for you. This one is going to be a fun one. We want to keep it fun. We want to keep it entertaining for the viewers as well. Thoughts on Borussia Dortmund?
All right. I actually can't respect Dortmund because Dortmund in the last few years have decided, you know what? Instead of keeping our ballers, we're just going to sell them on, like Dembele. They keep doing it, Aubameyang. If Dortmund, for me, kept some of their best players, they would probably be one of the best teams in Europe because they can develop stars. They have the money, though. And that's what pisses me off.
Yeah, they have the money.
They have money. They have one of the biggest atmospheres, best atmospheres in Europe, 81,000 capacity. They have a bigger stadium than Bayern. But the thing with Dortmund is their directors, everyone around the club, they have this mentality. Dortmund's manager pretty much came out a few weeks ago and said, Bayern Munich is simply the best. Period. Why is a manager of your biggest rival saying something like that? But luckily for us, Leipzig are probably just going to be a bigger threat for us next season because I can't trust Dortmund to give us a real pushing. But this season, we haven't won a single game versus Leipzig. They're like that team for us. They just can't lose. They scored like 4 goals 2 years ago against us when they weren't even good. RB Leipzig are a team that I think going forward, they just signed like 2 players in one day. Some real ballers too. So
they signed Hwang Hee-chan and they signed Benny Heinrichs.
Benjamin Henrik. So I think, Dortmund, I can't respect their business model and their mentality. It's not been, they were 9 points clear in February last season. I can't believe they bottled it.
Dortmund is one of the most disappointing teams. I would not put any money in Dortmund. If you tell me, listen, if you take $10 right now, you could take that $10. And if you bet on Dortmund to win the league, that $10 would become $100K. I would keep my $10 in my pocket because Dortmund would let me down. I'd rather take that $10 and do something else with it. I'll give it away because Dortmund is just simply a letdown. Since Klopp won those back-to-back titles, they haven't done anything. You know what I'm saying? They haven't done anything. And Leipzig, since we touched on Leipzig, look at the business that they do. They do smarter business.
They're probably just going to get a no-face to replace Timo Werner and in the next 2 years.
They already brought in the Korean Hwang Hee-chan, who has been scoring them a lot in the Austrian league. He already knows the Austria, Germany, pretty much same area.
Right.
He knows most of the players. A lot of players come from the Austrian league, So he's talented, man. He's talented. And you bring in Heinrichs, another young German right back there. You know, come on, you only strengthening. You sell players, they sell players, but they're strengthening. They brought in Olmo. Olmo was the best thing in the Croatian league.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he made his full Spain international recently. And he is playing further ahead. Now Timo Werner would not be almost playing further ahead, and he's capable of doing the job.
They brought Patrick Schick in after taking out this John Augustin guy who Schick all of a sudden looking like a really big baller. I didn't know who he was, but when he played against us, this guy could hold the ball.
John Augusta is a good striker as well. But the thing is, if a player isn't happy, you send him out on loan, and that's the same thing they did to Bruma as well, because Bruma was a good signing.
Right.
I really like that Bruma from Portugal. They sent him to PSV or something, or they sold him there. And remember, they had Mateus Cunha, who is a forward. They sold him to Hertha.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of Cunha, Hertha Berlin, they spent the most money last January. They're still looking to do more. And they said they wanted to be a big city club. And I'm just hopeful that Bayern in the next few years can just get rid of the Dortmund or our biggest rivals thing, because they're not. They're just really not.
Hertha has intentions of doing something. You could see what they're doing in terms of their transfer business. You know what I'm saying? Bringing in a guy, Piatek, they brought in. They have a guy called, I think, Lucas Toussaint, who scored a goal against Juventus. He's coming in as well. They're doing some good business, man. You know what I mean? They brought in Mateus Cunha, who I think is a very talented player. But if you notice, Leipzig, they have the whole Red Bull thing behind them. They're not worried about, okay, you know what? Okay, give us a 50 mil. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay. Diego Dema, you want to go to Napoli? Thank you. Okay, no problem. We have Conrad Lima in the middle here. We're good. You know? Okay, you know what? Salzburg, Jesse March. You guys have anybody over there who's banging him for fun right now? You know what? There's a guy by the name of Patson Daka. Line him up, okay? Line him up in the future. Maybe January we will take him from you. You know what I'm saying?
The negotiations must be hard since they're
it must be very difficult over there. But the thing is, look here. Haaland could have gone to Leipzig, but the reason why Haaland didn't go to Leipzig is because he thought he wasn't gonna start because of Timo Werner. Or else Erling Haaland would have been a Leipzig player, but it's only because of Werner. So if Werner had moved in January, Haaland would have been a Leipzig player, which could have made Leipzig a bigger threat to Bayern, as opposed to Borussia Dortmund. But you did mention that Dortmund sell their best players, but you guys buy their best players.
How many Dortmund players are in Bayern starting 11 right now?
Oh, you're talking about right now. I'm not
right.
Look, historically, let's use the word historically.
It really only happened under Pep. That was the only, in those 3 years, those are the only times that Bayern and Dortmund have ever really done that. So Pep came in, Gutsa. Right. You know, we can talk about Pep. Your manager decided, he said yes to it. So Gutsa became our player immediately. He flopped. So it's not like he was just that player. Dortmund sold Dembele. Did he go to Bayern? Absolutely not. They sold Aubameyang. Did he go to Bayern? No. Lewandowski, his boyhood club was Bayern. He decided to come to Bayern for free because he didn't like Dortmund, actually. He celebrates goals against Dortmund. It's not a thing where he actually likes Dortmund. So really, I mean, Hummels, Bayern youth product. If anything, Dortmund took a Bayern youngster. So I don't know what this conception is. It only really happened.
Okay, but how long have you what you call it though? You guys been chasing Marco Reus though?
Bayern never really wanted Reus.
Nah, man, come on.
No.
You think people are gonna believe that?
Of course, Bayern would probably love Marco Reus, but he's injury prone. Bayern have never really wanted Marco Reus, my man. It just has never been a thing. I don't really rate Reus. I think he's a good player, but he gets injured about every other game, so he can never really be consistent.
Is that the reason why you don't rate him, though? Let's make that clear. It's because he can't stay fit? Is that the reason? Because that should be the reason, because Reus is a hell of a player, man.
No, he is, obviously. But for me, I think footballers should play football, and he gets injured every other day. So I can't.
He's just weak. You know what I'm saying? There's just some players like that. They just weak. They just get injured all the time. But then again, you can't blame Royce too, you know. You have to blame who's the manager of the team because, look, when Royce was fit last season and Dortmund was doing well, if the manager had handled his situation a lot better, like say, okay, Royce, it's like Pep manages Laporte very, very well after that injury.
Right, I see him getting subbed off.
Yeah, you see that, right? We're doing well. We're winning the game. Why does Laporte need to be on the field? He does not need to be on the field. He did his job already. He played 60 minutes. Game by game, he's going to get stronger and stronger. That eventually, when there's a big game that he needs to stay on the whole time, like a tough game, like we have a 2-1 lead and he needs to stay on, then he has the stamina to stay on. But right now, when you're playing teams and you're already winning or you're already losing, just take him off.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just
right. I like that. I do like that. But you know, with Dortmund and Bayern, it's not even the reason why Dortmund aren't competitive. They're not competitive because their board aren't ambitious. What's his name? Tuchel, the guy at PSG. He basically brought up to the Dortmund board. He said Dortmund had to be more ambitious. They took him out. Right. Yeah. Because that is showed ambition.
That is true. And if you look at the business Dortmund did last summer, right? They spent a lot. But when you really think about it, did they spend on the right players? When you really
exactly.
Buying
27-year-old Eden Hazard's brother ain't really ambitious.
No, don't get me wrong. You know, don't get me wrong. Torgan Hazard is a neat player, but couldn't you have spent that money better, like bringing in a? Let's see. Look here. Look. I'm going to make a great point, and it's going to be a mind-blowing point right now. Mind-blowing point.
Right.
Name me a Brazilian on Dortmund team right now.
Well, Guerrero is not Brazilian. He's
just name me a Brazilian. I'm waiting for you.
I don't think they have any, right?
There's none.
Okay, that's a good point then.
Take that money, go to Brazil, scout, and bring in one of these wonder kids. Say, hey, we're going to offer you this really sweet contract.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You have these kids going to Real Madrid and Barcelona, and basically they're just wasting over there because they're not getting the play time. They're not, you know what I'm saying? They do some better damn scouting, man. You know what I'm saying? You're taking Brandt. Like, look, people rate Brandt, but what is Brandt? Brandt might be popping up in a few goals and assists, but is he winning titles? No.
He's not winning titles with Dortmund. That's true.
And then when you have a neat player like Sancho now, bam, he's going to get sold.
Right. You have a real baller there. Haaland's going to go in 2 years.
Haaland is going to go. If Haaland has a great season, the new season coming up, Haaland has a great season, January or
no.
Summer, he's gone.
His release clause kicks in 2022. So that's why I said 2 years. So
he's gone. He's gone pretty soon.
Right, that's the sad reality. But hopefully other teams like Leipzig can take that opportunity and be the real title challengers because Dortmund can't be trusted to give Bayern a challenge.
But when you really think about it, though, Leipzig, you could even throw them in the same category as Dortmund because they can't hold. They're not going to be able to hold on to their players either unless they win a Bundesliga title.
Right, that's the thing. They could have won it this year. They could have actually won it this year. So
I think
that's where I'm at.
One of the first years they got promoted, they were like flying and fell off. You know, so look, Bayern Munich are the only team in Germany that the players are going to be like, I don't know what. I'm at the top. Where am I going to go? All the other teams, they're either going to go to Bayern or they're going to go elsewhere, to Chelsea or something.
That's true. That's true. And Chelsea isn't even categorically a bigger club than Leipzig in terms of competitive. The squad-wise, Leipzig, I think, are better than Chelsea.
Yeah, but historically, that's a bold statement. It could be an incorrect statement as well. Because if you look, Chelsea has
Tammy Abraham better than Timo Werner.
No, but you can't look at it like that, though.
Well, squad-wise.
Listen to how you can't look at it like that. Chelsea have won 2 Premier League titles in the last couple of seasons, right?
Right.
They have a Champions League title. Leipzig is a team called, Rasenball Sport Leipzig that just got
Red Bull
invented in 2009. Basically, bought out a smaller team, renamed it, and came up the ranks. They did things the right way. They didn't really overspend like by the big money players because they have money. They're doing things the right way, but it's just that they have no history. And that's what, people don't like about Leipzig, you know what I'm saying? So
they'll create history soon. The reason I trust Leipzig is because they're owned by a company, Red Bull, that actually wants to succeed. They want to be the brand of a successful club. And the reason why they had Red Bull Ghana, they had Red Bull Brazil, Red Bull New York. They literally been building this for like a good 20 years just to get it to be in the top 5 league.
The thing is, with Bayern bringing in players of the quality of Leroy Sané, Cuisance, Pavard, Hernandez, etc., Tanguy Kouassi, Kimmich, all these guys there. Even if you guys lose an Alaba, you lose Thiago, you lose Javi Martinez, it's like a revolving door for equivalent quality players to come in. You know what I'm saying?
That's what makes me smile.
How is a Leipzig or Dortmund to dethrone you guys? Like, how is that going to happen? How is it even? It's not possible. If you have Neuer in goal, who looks like he's going to go on to play 3-4 more seasons, even 5, follow Buffon or somebody, you know what I mean? Or follow that guy from Japan who's like 50 years old and still playing. Or follow like say Roberto, who played like since he was 48 or something. Look, you guys, it's impossible. 8 in a row. 8. There's been 5 Premier League winners in the last 8 seasons.
Well, there's been the same amount of different winners in the Premier League and Bundesliga since 2000. So, it's not that extravagant. But the thing is, you have to. You're looking at it.
It's called Bayern Now. Now. What are you telling me about 2004? We're talking about now, bro. Now. Since 2000, Bayern Munich has spent 1 billion. 1 billion. You guys built something. But you guys built something. You spent a billion, but you probably quadrupled or 10 times that already.
Right.
You see what I mean?
The thing is, you have to really. Bayern have earned everything we have right now. In the 80s, Bayern were financially unstable. That was happening with the club. There was no other club that the other clubs were winning the trophies. Bayern weren't winning in the 80s as much as we were in the 70s. We didn't have 3 Champions Leagues in a row in the 80s too. So that's really where this comes from. That hard work, it didn't happen just in 7 years. That's been built over from like the 80s all the way. It's been a long journey. So it's not just to look at, and also you have to look at it from the general perspective. Dortmund last season should have won the league. They were 9 points clear in February. If you don't win the league, that's not Bayern's fault. Bayern having Alaba.
You're right. That is your fault, because if you have a 9-point lead, you have to put measures in place. You have to win your games.
Exactly.
And keep that lead. And who gives a shit about what Bayern does? I have 9 points. I'm gonna do what I have to do to keep that. Even after the break, going into the second part of the season, the Rock Ronda or whatever, and the window comes up. If you think there's any weakness that you can strengthen, you go into the market and you strengthen, just so that you keep that lead ahead of Bayern. Boom, you win the title. You automatically now becomes a more attractive club. A player might be like, you know what? Should I go to the champions, Dortmund, or should I go to Bayern Munich right now? You know what? I'm going to go to Dortmund. Then you attract better players, and then you start winning more things because you're keeping your players because you're winning. But if you're not winning and you're changing managers left, right, and center, how are you going to attract people?
And that's the thing, though. Look, Dortmund lost the DFB Pokal game to Werder Bremen. Should they be losing to Werder Bremen on any day? No, that's the little things. Dortmund shouldn't be losing to Werder Bremen in any day. They lost 6-0 to Hoffenheim. 6-0 to Hoffenheim, man. That's what I mean. Like, it's the little details in there as a club. That's why they're where they belong.
The ball is round. You could lose to anybody, but you expect better. Let's just say that.
Mm-hmm.
The 6-0 loss to Hoffenheim was at the back end of this season, right? They recently got smashed up, right?
Who?
Dortmund.
Right. By Hoffenheim.
Yeah. That's what you was talking about. Yeah. And Hoffenheim wasn't even playing nothing. That's the thing.
Exactly.
They wasn't playing anything. Like
they could have still gotten Europa League because the two teams in the Pokal were Bayern and Leverkusen, who would have gotten in Europe spots anyway. So Hoffenheim had nothing to play for, yet they still smacked up Dortmund.
Yeah. Complacency, man. Since we're on the topic of Dortmund, I want to leave the Dortmund thing, but I have to ask you one last thing. Is there any player at Dortmund that you would take at Bayern right now? Just name me one player and a short explanation. You don't want nobody?
Nope, not a single player in our squad actually I want.
Why not, though?
Well, the thing is, first of all, I don't want us to take players from Dortmund. Not take, but I'm on that train where I'm like, I don't. Well, they won't sell to us anyways because they've said they won't sell to Bayern. But there's no player in there. Not Haaland. Haaland's not even.
What about Sancho?
Sancho, we don't need his type of winger. He wouldn't fit us because he's more of a stay out wide and drifting. You know, he's just not our type of winger. He doesn't have the pace that Bayern wingers usually have. You know, it just isn't there. But the only player that I want right now that would absolutely make me ecstatic, through the moon, is Kai Havertz. He fits us so perfectly. He's literally just Thomas Muller with more technical ability.
Okay, so that's a good answer. Yeah. So you don't want to play from Borussia Dortmund. You want to play from
Bayer Leverkusen.
Since we're on the topic of Bayer Leverkusen, though, there's a player on there I really admire. And
Leon Bailey. Is that him? Because you're Jamaican, man. You're not.
No, I'm not Jamaican. See, I'm not Jamaican.
I swear, your accent, man.
Yeah, but I'm not Jamaican, though. Jamaica is not the only country in the Caribbean who has.
Oh, you're just from the Caribbean in general.
Yeah, I'm from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Have you ever heard of that?
Absolutely not. I apologize, though.
It's fine, man. I'm not bad.
Okay.
I'm not bad at all. Not bad. But it's not Leon Bailey. And to be honest, Leon Bailey, I used to really rate Leon Bailey, but I think he fell off a lot, to be honest.
Well, his coach doesn't like him, I don't think. His coach doesn't really, you don't get along.
He's been linked to City, and Leon Bailey is a kind of temperamental type of character that,
like a Sané.
Like, not maybe even more temperamental than Sané.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? More hard to deal with than Sané. And he's been linked to City. And I don't think look, it's gonna be a tough situation for me. I'm gonna be put in a predicament if Leon Bailey actually gets signed by City, because I'm not gonna be celebrating, because it's not like, I'm not gonna go against what I believe. Like, it's not a player who I want. Right. You understand? I would take Diaby in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah, he's a baller.
Diaby is the player I want. He's younger. He's probably faster, and he just has more potential, in my opinion. And he's a player that could be, I think, you get a manager like Pep, he could unlock those capabilities. Not so much Leon Bailey. I think Leon Bailey is a bit more rebellious in nature. And this is no hate against Bailey. It's just my personal preference. If he signs, he signs. I have to support him, but I'm not going to be happy. You know what I'm saying? So
what's with Pep and wanting players that he probably won't control, but he still wants them anyways?
But which other player falls into that category, in your opinion, though?
Well, Pep wouldn't like no Neymar. No, absolutely not. Pep Guardiola would just drop Neymar. He would terminate his contract the next day, because Neymar would just be there doing rainbow flicks. He would not do anything Pep tells him to do. Neymar would be there getting ahead. He wouldn't even press. The guy would just stand there and let anyone else press for him.
But the thing is, Pep needs to let players express themselves as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the combination between just being a normal manager. Pep looks to me like a psychopath sometimes because he's trying to control everything.
You can't just micromanage a player and be like, listen, you can't be dribbling. If the man is a Brazilian and that's what he does, that's what he's going to do. You can't just take his swag away from him like that and expect him to just automatically be a passer, pass, and not do a little bit of, you know what I mean, tricks and flicks. If you're a Brazilian, you're going to get that.
Right.
You know what I mean? But there was a lot of that from Douglas Costa, though. Because Douglas Costa is a player I admired while he was at Shakhtar, then he moved to Bayern Munich on the Pep.
2015.
And he was great. Oh, my goodness.
He didn't play that much. But he played that much.
But whatever he did, he was effective.
Yeah, he had the flicks and the pace. He had the pace.
Douglas Costa was very, very, very good at Bayern Munich. And then I think Pep left and he got injured or something like that, and then he moved on. But I know for sure, I don't even need to look this up, that Douglas Costa was a success under Pep at Bayern Munich. I know this. That's how he got into the Brazilian team. I don't think he was in the Brazilian team while at Shakhtar. I could be wrong, but still. Question for you, man. What are your thoughts on the DFB Pokal 4-2 win against Bayer Leverkusen? Was it ever in doubt?
Well, in the second half, I thought, they could have really come on us. I think we won the game in the first half. That first half is what I've been dying for because the last couple of games with Bayern have been really just grinding games. We just had to grind some games, getting good results and scoring goals. But just I wanted the complete performance. And I got it in the first half. But that second half, Leverkusen, that's why they call them Neverkusen, because they could never score. I don't know how they didn't score more than one goal. And they scored. I'm ecstatic for that. I think the treble is on. It's going to be very, very big. Speaking of the treble, we're moving to the Champions League.
Don't move on too fast.
I'm done talking about that. I want to talk about the Champions League now.
Words of insight. Don't rush too much. Don't rush too much. Take your time. Take it easy.
Well,
it's the afternoon right now. We're gonna have a nice, easy afternoon. But look, I actually started watching that game, and after Bayern, they were 2-0 up at halftime, right? Let me double check. Yeah, 2-0 up at halftime. I'm like, listen, this game is over. Let me go and watch my Premier League match. Because I was tuning into this game. I was like, it's done. It's done. And then I saw it was a 4-2 finish. But now I'm looking back at it. Bayern was 3-2 up. 3-0 up, then 3-1, then 4-1, and then they got a late goal. So
easy win. It's not an easy win. That second half.
Oh, so they did create a lot of chances in the second half.
They created a lot of chances. Boateng had to make so many. They were honest. Kai Havertz.
They only had 8 shots at goal for on target compared to your 14 shots.
Look, Kai Havertz made a pass that got in front of Volland. That's a tap in. That was an open goal, but he scuffed his foot and missed the shot. That's what I mean when I say they created so many opportunities to score, but they couldn't. Champions League.
Champions League. Okay, with the Champions League, right?
Right.
3-0 advantage over Chelsea, right?
We'll beat Chelsea. Just forget about it. Don't think there's a possibility it doesn't happen.
And look,
there's no way we don't beat Chelsea, especially
on this season, right?
Uh-huh.
Potential trouble on this season. Potential trouble. You're 1 foot, maybe you're saying you're 2 feet into the quarterfinals.
We're 1 foot, 2 feet, basically in there. We got 90 minutes to spare. 90 minutes of a friendly game versus Chelsea where we're just going to smack them up 10-0 or something.
The arrogance, fellas. The arrogance.
Well, we're 3-0 up. Away goes too, and it's confirmed it's getting played at the Allianz Arena.
Arrogance. It seems like he did not watch. The Barcelona versus PSG game back in 2017.
Well, that's because Bayern don't bottle games like that. We don't bottle 4-0 wins.
I told you. If Bayern Munich messes,
that's if, and it won't happen.
Promise me. We'll be back here. We'll be back here to talk about it and watch you cry.
We'll be back here to talk about how I was right. Bayern,
if you're right,
we're not bothering no leads.
If you're right, we'll be back here to talk about it because it could be a Bayern versus City in the quarters too.
Right, because we can still Man City. I don't think City will get past for Madrid. Get past Madrid first, then we can talk. Get with the big boys.
You hear the negativity and the arrogance on this guy. You hear this negativity.
You're not past City first. Get past City, we can talk.
Right? We have a 2-1 lead on the road. We go to the Bernabeu, right? And we beat Real Madrid, spank them in their own stadium. And he still doesn't
spank them. 2-1 ain't spanking anyone. All they need is one goal, a 1-0 win. And you know Real Madrid, they're literally known for winning Champions League matches like this.
Again there. Let me stop you
again. VAR decision and Pep Guardiola is going back to his freaking cave.
Guys, I'm going to poke holes in what he was saying, what he just said. You said if they win 1-0. If they win 1-0, they could win 1-0 all they want. I wish they win 1-0. I wish it happens. Thank God. Please, Real Madrid, beat us 1-0. Because if they beat us 1-0, we are through.
Right. No, because you have a way.
You see? You make it
2-0. Zidane beat that ball. Oh, he's ball too. Beat him, man. Zidane.
Respect Guardiola. It seems.
Now that's the thing. Don't underestimate Zidane and his little, pragmatic way of managing. Zidane is opposite from Pep. He will have individual performances in that game.
But where were the individual performances against us in their own stadium?
I watched the first half of that game, and City just could, play defensive. But the second half, I heard, they spanked you a little bit.
Laporte got injured in the game.
No one cares about Laporte getting
a penalty in that game.
It doesn't mean that much.
Look, it seems like
penalty.
It seems like no, we didn't. We scored a penalty.
Oh, then you shouldn't have gotten
Sergio Ramos got sent off. Do you forget that Sergio Ramos won't be involved in the second leg? It seems
that's amazing for Real Madrid then, because he ain't that good. No, seriously. Do you see
the man has more goals than Zidane?
Yeah, that's cool.
More Liga goals than many great players. Look, you got to give him the props. He's a key player, and he will be missed.
Yeah,
look, I'm confident that we're gonna beat Real Madrid. We're gonna handle business.
All right. Say you do the impossible. Say you do the impossible and beat Real Madrid. Bayern versus City final.
Before we move on, I know you're joking. I know you're joking.
No. Okay.
I see the smirk in your face because right now you're being very disrespectful to Man City. You're very disrespectful, but because you're a Bayern Munich fan, you have this arrogance. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, Bayern.
Well, of course. I just
hope we meet Bayern. I just hope we meet Bayern and take care of them.
City are one of those clubs. City aren't a big club like that. They haven't won the Champions League in their entire history.
How are you being a big club or what? We don't care about that. People like to throw that out there. It doesn't matter.
You need to fill up your stadium, and you need to focus on that.
It doesn't matter.
All right, but so
you're gonna come to the empty head, and we're gonna talk business if we do get drawn. Guess what?
They're gonna be hologram singing. Come on, City! Come on, City!
Yeah. And the thing is, what I don't understand: rival fans, right? Like the Liverpool fans, and now this particular Bayern fan named George runs a channel called BayernNow. They know quite a lot about us. They know quite a lot. It's like they're always studying. They're studying us.
There's not much to study. All I have to know is that you should be where you are. I mean,
but you know what you call someone like that?
What?
A hater.
No,
a hater. That's what you call someone like that. They know your business, but they don't like you. That's a hater.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of the the oil money thing. I'd say I'm not a fan of that.
Where does Bayern money come from? We're not gonna get too we're not gonna get too controversial right now.
We actually make our money through.
Look, we're not gonna get too controversial right now. So what we're gonna do?
We actually have fans that buy shirts.
Look, where we go?
Oh, okay.
Could you reach right now? Don't move. Don't move. Could you reach and grab a Bayern Munich shirt right now?
All right.
But I told you not to move, though.
Well, where am I supposed to go? I got 4 right here. 4 of them right here. What would you like to know? That's the 100.
I can go and I could get you 11 Man City shirts now.
That's a badge you'll never get. 120 years of history. You'll never get this. You'll never have 100. You'll never have 120 years of history.
George, we just had a 125-year anniversary jersey. What are you talking about?
Right. You'll never.
What are you talking about? You see, I think you know a lot about City, but you don't know enough. But look. To be real,
we don't know you were founded 125 years ago. Right.
Chelsea,
we all know that. We all know that.
Chelsea, let's keep it real here. Let's talk some pure stuff right now, right? 3-0 against Chelsea.
Absolute win.
In London, right? Do you have any doubts at all? Just answer yes or no. Any doubts that Chelsea could come back in this?
See, the reason I don't have any doubts, it's not arrogant. It's because I trust this squad and I trust Flick. Flick, the thing with Bayern under Pep was, if we went down, you always felt like he couldn't motivate his players to turn it around. Hansi Flick is both a human and also he has tactical competence. So if we were to go 1-0 down against Chelsea, this team won't crumble. We've gone 1-0 down under Hansi Flick before. And a few weeks ago, we were 1-0 down, came back and won 3-2 or 3-1. So that's where I'm at.
I know Flick is experienced, not as a main guy, but as a backup. He's been around for a while.
He's been a manager, just not at the top.
But I don't think he has ever been personally in a position like this. So who knows what could happen? You know what I'm saying? That's a thing.
That's true. But trust your manager.
To be honest, I don't think Chelsea gonna come back, but it can happen. It's football. Anything could happen on the day.
There's some things. Chelsea won't come back though. But let's move on from that. Jurgen Klopp said he'd like to see a Bayern City final. Who do you think would win that if it came down to it?
Well, if City gets all the way to the final, let me tell you this. It means that, it means the same for both teams too. If Bayern get to the final, it means that they're playing well, they're well-oiled and well-drilled. Same thing for City. Very, very well-oiled, very well-oiled, very well-drilled.
Olive oil.
You get it? Very well-oiled. So, if that happens, it means that it's going to be one hell of a final. Look. It can go any way. It can go any way. I'm telling you. Both very good squads. Look, I'm keeping it real here. I'm not going to run and say City is going to win all by. It's going to be a tough game because very good squads, very deep squads. And look, it's going to take the best team on the day, the team that wants it more. Is going to take it. And just so I let you know, I think we want it more because we have never won it.
Absolutely not. Okay. You do not win the Champions League more than Bayern. I think
we want it more. If I never had something, trust me, I want it more than you. Not because you tasted it already and you want to taste it again. I never tasted it.
So let's say you don't have $1 billion right now. That's assuming I'm correct. I don't have $1 billion. We both don't have $1 billion. You think we want $1 billion more than Bill Gates does? No, because he wants it to the point where he's going to continue.
I understand what you're saying.
So
the hunger wouldn't.
Lewandowski has a lot to prove. Thiago has a lot to prove. Kimmich has a lot to prove. All these players publicly talk about their goal being to win the Champions League. When it comes to wanting it, Lewandowski wants to win that Ballon d'Or. He wants to prove himself. This guy stayed on the pitch injured because he wanted to beat Chelsea comfortably. He stayed on the pitch injured, my man.
I don't think you even know. Do you know? Do you know?
Did City won it against Spurs?
No, do you know? We're not even going back there. Your channel is called Bayern Now. Let's talk about now. Do you know what this whole project is about? It's to win the Champions League, Do you know why all the money is being pumped into PSG is to win the Champions League? They can't win it. Same for City. They can't win it. So the hunger is definitely there to win this thing. And I want us to win it. I hope we could win it. I'm not going to run and say, yes, we are going to win it.
Yeah.
I'm going to give credit. Bayern, one of the prime candidates to win it. And that's the difference between you and I. And people are going to realize that's the difference between you and I. Listen, with me, I'm not going to come out with this arrogance. I'm going to give the opposition the credit that's due as well. I'm going to give him that credit. Bayern, if we meet Bayern in the final, it can go both ways. But for you, you're basically saying it's done. You know what you're talking about.
I'm not saying it's done. I'm just saying Bayern have more motivation to win it.
You know which team you're talking about? This is Man City, you know.
And they have how many Champions Leagues?
It doesn't matter. I'm talking about this is Man City.
City are going to be a tough team. But for me, I just feel like City are run by the same guy who ran us for 3 years. And we bottled 3 Champions League semifinals. That's the same guy we're talking about. The same guy that hasn't won a Champions League.
That would give the man even more motivation coming up against his old team, not winning it since he was at Barcelona. That's even more motivation to win it. Well,
so let me get this straight. The City team that I think defensively has so many issues. No, it's not even it's not even about defensive. I think you could probably say that yes to this. Man City have the same problem Bayern have. Individual defending, you don't see it. I think Pep has said it himself. He doesn't coach tackles. The individual defending. This Bayern team can switch gears. And I wonder if City can keep up with the gears. Because
what are you talking?
We're the highest pressing team in Europe.
The defense that you have can manage City right about now. Do you think that? Do you know? We are the Bayern. Look, we are the best attacking team in the Premier League by far, by over 10 goals.
Right.
I don't think you know that. We have hit the post the most times, the most shots. When it comes to going forward, City. But City play in a stronger league than Bayern Munich. And nobody could you're not going to debate that. Are you going to debate
that? 20 points clear. Yeah.
Are you going to debate that with me, though?
City, okay. The quality of football in the Premier League is lower than any other league, in my opinion. I think teams sit. No. Teams.
Oh my God!
It's true. Teams sit back a lot more.
You're the Bundesliga, and you're telling me
no. 13 out of at least 13 Premier League teams sit back. They stay compressed. Newcastle. I watched Newcastle versus City. All they did was sit back and concede more goals.
Newcastle is not a team that we're going to use to represent. It's not the flag bearer. You're not going to use Newcastle, but. Look, Bayern Munich
Premier League was the strongest league. We would see Champions League winners every single year.
We've been walking the league for 8 years. Eight.
And when you say walk in the league, that has to mean there's no competition.
No competition in the Bundesliga. Absolutely none. You play Manchester United right now, they would give you a serious run for your money. Believe you me. A serious run. Man United.
Dortmund gave us a serious run.
No, I'm just saying.
The same way Leipzig gave us a serious. The same way we lost to Leverkusen. The same way we lost to Mönchengladbach. The same way we got slapped up by Frankfurt 5-1. Which doesn't only matter because we won it and actually worked hard. We're the highest pressing team in Europe. You think City's going to cope with that pressure?
You don't watch City? How are you the highest pressing team in Europe? Do you know the kind of pressing that Man City and Liverpool does when they lose the ball? It's the same. They're all the same type of style.
No. Pep wants to rush the man with the ball. Klopp wants to close down the passing lanes and close down the space. That's the difference. Pep's pressing happened with Bayern, Atletico. Saul Niguez went through the entire team. This is what I mean with Pep teams. You don't have the individual players like that. You literally just said it with Sané. Who's your individual player that could just have a brilliant moment and do something? We have Alphonso Davies, Serge Gnabry.
Judge. Wait. Wait. Do you know what you're talking about right now? Do you know what you're saying right now? No, wait. Do you know what you're saying right now? What did you just say?
I know what I'm saying.
I'm saying individual.
No. You have the individuals, but you don't have an.
You don't have a Bundesliga, right? And you ignoring Kevin De Bruyne.
Oh, De Bruyne is a baller, but is he that player to take the game by the scruff of the neck?
Of course, that's the man that has.
Wow, that's why you're winning the league by 20.
How you think we've been? Look, the games that we've been winning. What do you mean? How we're winning the league, bro? We won the league twice in a row, 100 points and 98 points.
Right. And it's one of the most expensive squads in history. It's not just De Bruyne.
Why are you bringing up money?
You didn't have Sané and Laporte for one season. And
why do people always do this? Why do people do this? Why are you bringing up money? You're the same one who said that Lewandowski had like a big sign-on fee. Isn't that money dumping into players for the success of the team? You have to buy quality players in order to win.
I'm not saying about the money. I'm just saying City have a very good squad, but they haven't shown me anything to say they have an individual that can carry them.
You anything when we have won a title in 2017-18 and 2018-19, 198 points. How haven't we shown the world anything?
Well, we're a great team full of with an amazing coach. But the thing is, that coach doesn't have a type of way. Have you seen Alphonso Davies play?
You know what?
He could rip up an entire defense by himself.
Of course, I know Alphonso Davies. He's from Canada. I live in America. I've seen him before you even knew him. You probably only knew who Alphonso Davies was when you guys signed him.
No, I knew who he was because I actually care about the MLS a little bit.
I knew Alphonso Davies since he made his debut for Canada back in 2017 at the Gold Cup. Maybe he didn't make his debut at that tournament, but if you go back, you would see I covered that entire tournament. I know what I'm talking about. You probably didn't even have faith in Alphonso Davies coming in. The man came in.
There is a video of me saying exactly what he's doing now, but I didn't obviously think he'd be this way. No one did.
Raj, I'm going to teach you something. Give respect. Do not be arrogant because your team is winning. Have respect for what other teams have done.
How can you respect for City? But I'm just saying everything doesn't point to them.
Let me just say this. How can you sit here and say Man City has no player on the team who could change a game? Like you disrespecting a legend called David Silva. You haven't been watching. You saw the
thing. That's exactly what I mean. You have players that have a system that have. That's exactly what happened at Bayern with Pep. You have players that are absolutely world class. I think Kevin De Bruyne is the best center attacking midfielder in the world, even though Muller is there too.
Now, how could you say that now, but you just refuse to mention that we have a player?
That's my point. You can't. Your team has one way of playing. If it doesn't work, that's where you have problems.
What are you trying to say? Bayern Munich has many different ways of playing. Then,
and exactly. Did you watch the Chelsea game? We went from.
I watched the Chelsea game.
Right. But it was a different gear.
That game was a blur.
We can change.
You played Chelsea.
We can change plans.
You played the Chelsea
game. Just decided we have individuals though. Like that's what I mean. City are a very systematic team. Pep likes the exact same philosophy. Sometimes he overthinks big games. Bayern have individual players that play in a simple system. We don't actually have this crazy tactical philosophy that we have to stick by. We have Davies who can just get past 4 players at one time. And that's the thing.
Yes.
Have you look at Klopp at Liverpool? It's a similar type of situation. Jurgen Klopp has a system, but you can tell he has Mane who can just do something in 1 second. He has Wijnaldum running into the box. He has Alexander Arnold trying different things. Pep is like in between the lines. Get the winger, bang, cross into the space.
Let me ask you a question. Okay,
right.
If that's the case, why did we win 2 titles in a row? Why did we win a domestic treble last season? How did we do it?
The same reason Pep won 2 doubles with Bayern. The same reason Pep won 2 doubles with Bayern.
No,
we couldn't do it in the Champions League.
Did we fluke it? I'm just thinking right now, because we're down and we're 23 points or so behind Liverpool, y'all could come and y'all could talk. And y'all could say things. But I wasn't hearing nobody saying anything or talking no shit last season. I ain't hearing no shit the season before. But now, listen, now you have the fire. You have the fire now. It doesn't matter. You have to give credit. 2 teams played. Spurs were the better team. last season. Liverpool were a better team in the Champions League last season. The previous season, Monaco was a better team. What are you going to do? You can't win them all. But we won. We were the first team in Premier League history to get 100 points. Still no respect. Liverpool went out. They spent how much money on Van Dijk? How much money on Alisson? They came. They won the Champions League.
So Coutinho for 150 million.
It doesn't matter. Well, it doesn't even matter.
Money they used. But that's the thing. I respect Pep so much, but that's
it doesn't sound like you respect Pep. It doesn't sound like you respect City.
I don't respect the fact that, look, you can do so well with when you're playing, Newcastle 4-0, 2-0, 3-0. But when it comes to a Champions League game where it's different, did Liverpool plan to lose to Atletico Madrid? Because they didn't. Did Liverpool really look at Madrid and go, you saw how the Liverpool players came out and were like, we can't wait to see him back at Anfield. Yeah. And then they got spanked in their own stadium. And City,
you're contradicting yourself, though, because
but that Atletico team was individualistic.
But look, you're contradicting.
They won that game with individuals, though. That's what I mean.
Why you're contradicting yourself?
City don't have they can't bring up an individual performance. You just told me that you lost that player that can do it by himself, Leroy Sané. You just said that, man.
Let me give you. Just look. Let me. You're contradicting yourself because you're praising Liverpool, but then you see. Liverpool got beaten off the park twice by Atletico Madrid, who were the better team on the day. Liverpool are the world champions, the defending Champions League winners, the Premier League winners this season by how many points? 23 points right now. But they got beaten by Atletico Madrid, who are currently struggling, you could say, in context of Barcelona and Real Madrid in La Liga. So what is your point? The point is any team could win on the day. That's the whole point. So you just have to give credit is due.
It has I do give the credit
were the individuals on the day to beat Atletico. They were not there. That's what I'm saying.
But Atletico had it. That's the thing. Liverpool wanted to play their same system that they've been playing. They wanted to do the exact same thing. They're individuals. Liverpool should have won that game. You could make the argument. They should have probably scored like 5 goals before the game ended. That's what could have happened. Robertson hitting the bar. But my point isn't about, okay, this team has better individual. No, it's about your system is so limiting to individual players like the Brazilians. Your system doesn't allow for players to do it by themselves. So when they can't do it as a team, I struggle to think someone can just step up and do something that's absolutely brilliant.
We have players who can step up.
And who's done that this season?
Kevin De Bruyne. He's from Belgium. We bought him from Wolfsburg. He has stepped up. We have Bernardo. We have Sterling. David Silva.
Sterling can step up and do something magical by himself when he's missing 1v1s versus David De Gea when you're losing. That's what I mean. De Bruyne is amazing, and he's an absolute baller. But you can't tell me, based on current evidence, that he can step up in a Champions League when he hasn't shown me he can.
He has been one of our better attackers in the last couple of seasons. He has been stepping up. Why do you think he's been linked to Real Madrid? He's been stepping up. And Real Madrid won 4 Champions League in 5 years. 4 in 5 years.
Yeah, and you won the Champions League because De Bruyne stepped up. That's my point. You haven't won it with someone stepping up.
No, but what I'm saying,
you can't tell me someone will step up and you win it all of a sudden.
George, all I'm saying is it doesn't seem like you know what you're talking about when it comes to City. That's it. Because you seem like you focus on Bayern Munich. Do you watch the Premier League? Do you watch City play every game?
I don't really give a crap that much about City, but I do watch a lot of games.
Look, you don't watch City play. You don't watch Liverpool play every game. So
I watch a lot of Liverpool games.
So how? Okay. So if you don't watch City play, how are you qualified to even give those bold statements?
I do watch a lot of them play. I watched Liverpool around the time they lost to Atletico, and I said they lose.
Premier League, week in, week out. Do you? No.
Why would I be watching the Premier League week in, week out? Bayern's play.
So that's the point I'm trying to make. You cannot make bold statements like that when you don't have any backing and any knowledge of what's going on. You have to be objective. You have to come and hit it from an objective angle. Yeah, City could win. They're a good team. I don't really know much about them. That, you know, Bayern could show up and they could flop on the day because the system just failed or the individuals didn't show up. It can happen. That's all I'm saying. It can happen. It's been happening years upon years upon years upon years. You guys won it in 2013, but since then, what have you done?
What have we done? Well, we've gotten a manager that has enough motivation to win it.
The man has nothing to show that he can do something in the Champions League. Nothing. But a win. He took over halfway through the season. He has nothing to show.
All right, well, we'll see.
Nothing.
We'll see.
Nothing. Look, it's been long. I like how the conversation kind of got heated a bit. That's very good and all.
But you
gotta learn, like, and that's why I want us to win the Champions League so bad. If we don't win it, it's fine. But this season, if we win it, oh my God. Oh man, I would rub it in your faces so much.
All right, we'll see. We'll see what happens with that.
So much. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And look, do you know tomorrow is the Champions League draw? Do you know that?
Oh, I can't wait. I want City so bad. I really do.
I want Bayern Munich so bad now. So bad.
Did I really rile you up that much? I think I riled you up.
Explain it. How bad I want Bayern Munich right now. But anyways, look, it's been real, man. It's been real. We could do this again another time if you're up for it.
All right. Well, thank you everyone so much for watching. Mia and peace.
Guys, I'm your boy.